Well, we've got something very special for you right now. We've learned a lot in a very short period of time. And some of you are wondering, okay, how can we put all this together? How can this work for me, or can this work for me? Can this work in my niche? Can this work in my particular industry? Are my clients really gonna pay that much? That was a good one right there. Is that really possible? Are they really gonna pay that much money for my services? So I wanna bring up 4 of my clients who have been making it happen, who have made it happen and are, true radical givers. They have been growing their business, following the steps, making new connections, growing their email list, growing their cash flow, growing their client base, all from the exact steps that you have just been learning. So everybody, please do me a favor, stand up, put your hands together for Sean Massey, Asara, Tara Maxwell, and Nicole Moore. Let's give them a real big round of applause as they come on up here. Thank you. Oh, it's so good to see you. Oh, yay. Thank you for coming up and sharing the stage with me. So much love. Oh my goodness, I love it. Oh, I love hugs. Fantastic. And I do have some male clients. I just want to make sure everybody understands that. So, do me a favor. So let's start. We're going to get some introductions. Let's start with Nicole. So just tell everybody who you are, what your business is, the name of your business, and what you do.
Hi, everyone. So my business is called Love Works, and I'm a love coach. And I help, the woman who you're like, I can't believe she's single. She's so amazing. I help her find the right man and then keep him.
Awesome. Thank you. Give it up. All right. Let's hear from Asara.
Yeah, I'm Asara, and I am a spiritual business coach, and I help spiritual entrepreneurs to lead a divinely guided and successful and thriving business by assembling their team of light, any guidance, the angels, ascended masters, and galactic beings of light, just to make better business decisions. Because sometimes you're not sure where to go, and then you can just ask, where do I go? You can ask Brett too, but you can ask your team of light too.
Different kind of guidance. That's
Different
great.
guidance.
And let's go to Sean. She's got it. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sean Massey, and I deal in happiness hacks. Seriously, though, I'm an author and an advocate, and I advocate for the part of you that gets ignored, criticized, even abandoned by yourself. And it happens to us a lot as entrepreneurs, where somebody doesn't react just the way we had in mind, and we leave ourselves. So my self-solidarity system, it's amazing how life changes overnight when you know you have a reliable way to use whatever hurts, frustrates, upsets, or challenges you and turn that around, whether it's your relationship with your spouse, your clients, or in my case, my mailing list, and turn that into so much peace, clarity, openness, and just really moving forward with your business in a way that there are no bad outcomes. So it's really fun, and I'm having a great time being with Brett here.
Awesome.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tara Maxwell. I'm an affluence coach and founder of A-Life Academy. I help women coaches and healers break through the blocks so that they are able to attract their clients, raise their prices, and really own their self-worth.
Awesome. And while you have the mics, let's start with Tara. So, Tara, what was it like? What was your online marketing, your Facebook marketing like before we started working together? And I think, when was it, 2 years ago, 2.5?
2 or 3 years ago.
3 years ago, something like that. So we started working together about 3 years ago. What was your Facebook marketing like and your marketing like before we started working together?
I would have told you Facebook ads don't work. It's like taking a dart and just blindly just throwing it out. And just would spend $100 here or there. And what you taught me simplified. You just taught me a very simple strategy, creating a lead magnet, creating an ebook. And I think one time 3,000 leads within a week.
Who would like to get 3,000 new emails in a week? Okay. Yeah. Cool.
$2.
$2 an email.
And I will preface, I followed divine guidance, that this was the next step. And what I loved about it is that with Brett, he had taught me these strategies a year before, and we had used it to build a list for a summit. And so I was empowered to use what he had taught me and then and do this on my own. And yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So let's go to Sean. So Sean, tell us a little bit about what was your business like before you started our 12-month program, and what is it like now?
Mostly with regard to Facebook or just in general?
Both.
Okay, so when it came to Facebook, I was in a similar place. I had been boosting those posts and thinking I was doing something, but nothing was happening. And even when I first started watching Brett, there were things that I still didn't have all the pieces, and virtual assistants I hired didn't know. They didn't have all the testing in the background that Brett sat with me and walked me through it and posted. And so I had my first, for $5 a day, I got 100 brand new emails in a week, which at 42 cents a click. So for me, that was huge because I hadn't built my list that way before. And it just opened up a whole new world. And from those, about 10% signed on for individual consultations, and a number of those either became clients or at least I'm very much in touch with them now. So that was exciting. But the biggest thing for me has been really, I made enough money or brought in enough money in the beginning to pay for the program within a couple of months. Within 45 days, I had sold $22,500 worth of business, and that is, of course, spread over the course of a year, but I adore...
Okay, wait, we need to give her a hand. In 45 days, she sold $22,000 in business. That's rocking. Fantastic. Thank you for that. Sarah.
So before, I was a spiritual entrepreneur who was just trying to stab at this online business for 10 years. And I tried different websites, and I tried different trainings, and it was such a roller coaster of income and that hassle. It was incredible. And I was guided, but still, as an entrepreneur, you're in a lonely place. You're in your office. You're sitting there trying to figure this thing out.
Can anybody relate to that? Feeling like we're lonely as an entrepreneur? Yeah.
And there was Brett. And I had followed you for a while, and then I was finally ready, and I signed up with you, and within 60 days, my sales increased by $26,000.
Whoa, let's give it up.
And not only that, okay, it's a stable income. It is incredible, the relief that you can feel of a stable income.
Who's ready for a stable income?
It's amazing.
Huh? How about, yes, want some of that. Great.
Oh, and then being lonely, not lonely, but an entrepreneur just trying to struggle alone by yourself. Whoa, you're in the presence of awesome people, awesome guidance, and you're not alone anymore. You're like, what do I do now? And he's telling you, he's taking you every step by your hand. He's like, now you're gonna do that. Don't wander off. You're gonna do that now.
Awesome.
And it works. Just do what he says.
Fabulous. Nicole.
Yes. So I didn't have a consistent system for bringing in one-on-one consultations. I just had my little list, but then I would send an email here or there, and sometimes I got consultations, sometimes I didn't. And then when I worked with Brett, we created this amazing funnel. I still love it because I'm always pulling in consultations, like all of the time. And I got so booked up with one-on-one consultations, I had to actually have someone else start doing the calls for me because I was in so much of an overflow.
Who wants that problem? To have the overflow of leads, too many leads.
Yeah, and it still happens all the time. Like my calendar is just always full because the funnel is so great. It's bringing in qualified people. I had, I forgot what the number is of how many we built, but I had 400 people buy my little $7
Yeah,
product.
you had 1,900 emails.
Yeah.
in 30 days or
Yeah.
something.
And then I had 400 people actually buy a little product from me, but that's people who are way more qualified. And then from that, I went on to sell $100,000 worth of business in 30 days. So it
Let's
was
give it up for
amazing.
Nicole Moore. So, and was there ever a time where you thought, like, I couldn't do that, or that seems like such a high, unattainable level to do $100,000 of sales in just 1 month?
Yeah, no, totally. I had seen other people do it, and I was like, how are they doing this? And I don't know if I can. And I've had that happen more than one time since I now have consistent $50,000 to $60,000 cash months, like every single month. And that comes from always having leads coming in and always having people who are already qualified because I've already helped them through my lead magnet. So they get on the phone with me and they're like, I feel like I already know you and you've already helped me so much. And then it's way easier to actually sell them into a program that's going to really help them.
And has anybody ever had the thought that, well, I have to be in the business niche to make that kind of money? Has anybody ever crossed your mind before?
I thought that too.
I can't make that kind of money in my niche. Anybody ever had that feeling or thought before? Okay. And she's a love coach, crushing it. Absolutely. Awesome. So let's go to Asara. Let's talk about something specific, a specific story where you had a big aha moment or a business shift.
I think that the biggest shift I had was to flip it. Because I thought first I have to get an awesome website. First get an awesome website and then get an awesome funnel or something and worked on that. And then here comes Brett with such a freaking simple system that doesn't cost money. I was like, how is this even possible? And after 10 years, 10 years I have listened to all the greats in the online marketing business. They all, tackled one aspect, but everything would cost money, you guys. Everything costs money except this system. So when I enrolled in this, and within 2 weeks, I was like, where have you been for the last 10 years? I could have saved so much time and money,
And
if I
can
had
you
understood that.
talk specifically about how quickly you were able to get a couple of high-end customers and kind of how that happened?
Yeah. So I went and sent out an email to a small segment of my email list. You can also just choose those that you remember who had a session with you already or that you just feel is a good fit or have interacted with you in some way. So I made that segment of my email list and I sent out an email inviting them to a one-on-one session. Like I called it a Clarity and Thrive session. And what did I do? I used the avatar interview that Brett just talked about. And I wanted to first do the 10 avatar interviews to gather information. And one of them begged me to enroll him already. And I was just scrambling to get my program real quick, all the numbers together, and send it to him. Okay, there you are. So that was the first one. I'm like, I think we're on to something here.
So the customer avatar interviews can work.
Yeah.
They can actually work. And,
Yeah.
and the intention is it's not a sales conversation. It's true marketing research. But there is this interesting unintended side effect that some of those people say, hey, can I pay you to help me with this and get a customer out of it? Cool.
Yeah, and then of course, then I went bigger and I called it my Session Palooza. I cleared 2 weeks off my schedule and I scheduled 25 sessions of these free consultations and just follow the script. Just don't move away. Just follow what he does. Do this, read the script. Just let them answer, listen intently, and care about the people in front of you, and take the time.
Radical giving.
Radical giving, teach them, give them a really good teaching,
Yeah.
what is valuable to them. And, of course, out of the 25, not all 25 signed up. And you got to learn to get used to that. And so 11 of them said, okay, they want to hold a deposit and they want to put a hold on it. And out of those, I ended up with 6 really nice high-end clients. Solid.
Awesome.
And it's a numbers game.
Awesome.
Just do it.
Let's give it up for Asara.
Thank you.
Great work. Great work. And Sean, so tell us a specific moment that you remember that made a big shift and got you a specific result.
Well, just to reinforce, I did one of Brett's strategies that he will give you is that if somebody is on the fence, you go ahead and make them this tentative offer and give them a session, and they have a chance to still go out. So that's what he did with me. And in the session, part of it was he gave me the avatar interview, and I dove right in and got my best clients in there from a group that I had just completed a 12-week group, and I told them I just wanted to do a little follow-up interview, and it was market research for me. So they didn't come in feeling they were going to be sold anything, and I had no intention of selling them anything. But by the end, I was very clear, and it led me to know exactly what this high-end group was, which is they were all bowled over by the amount of self-love they had learned how to give themselves by the end of our 12-week group. So the mastermind was called now the Symmetry of Self-Love, a platinum mastermind. And by the end of the interviews, a few of them were asking me to sign them on. So that was a great benefit. And the other aha I have is that even though I kept resisting having contracts with people, I wanted to do it, and I just didn't get around to doing it. And things kept falling apart a little bit, so that for this group, I made sure we had a contract. And there is something about, I qualified them. I was the gatekeeper for the group. I didn't want people in there who weren't going to be able to give back, really hold the space and support each other, who had already done their spiritual homework in a big way. In fact, I'm sure, wow, there must be some amazing candidates right in this group who would qualify for that. And so now that the group is together, I know we're together for a full year. I have this consistent income coming in. I was ready to start with 2 people. And then I had a retreat, and 2 more signed on, and then 3 more. So we started with 8 along with my assistant. And now I have 4 more spots. So I'm filling the group. And that's the other aha was, you don't have to have the group full when you start. You can start and build it as you go. And that the people in the group are a draw for the other people. So all of that is just...
Who was worried that they would have to get all 11 people at the same time? Okay, you just heard from Sean that you do not have to get all 11 people at the same time. They can start one at a time, and it's really okay if the 11th person starts 6 months after the first person. The reason why it's okay is because, remember, you get 2 one-on-one sessions with your clients and the group sessions. Because of the one-on-one component, you can onboard someone at any time, okay? Good, that was a good clarification. Thank you.
Actually, a couple ahas I had. One, last year when I did the list build, the 3,000 leads, I think it was $100,000. I generated $100,000 in 6 weeks. So it's really that idea that abundance is simple. Just follow the strategy and make that decision and see it through. And
So
that it's right
I think
here.
I just want to cap that because that's pretty big. $100,000 in 6 weeks. So just go in a little bit more detail so they know what you did and how you did it.
Well, I had an ebook. It's 6 Steps to Manifest a Major Dream. I talked about how my husband and I, we manifest our dream in Costa Rica. And so having that ebook with a story, which, it's not just salesy. It's telling us a true story of, our experience. And then people would download that ebook, and then they wanted that. My program's A-Life Academy. I teach people how to create affluence from the inside out. How do you manifest your dream on steroids? And so they were qualified clients,
And so she created a lead magnet, and it was a very simple, you mentioned ebook, but it was still a very simple lead magnet, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so just a
simple.
PDF.
An hour of.
Took her an hour to make it. It was a lead magnet. And do you remember what the title of it was?
6 Steps to Manifest a Major Dream. You can check it out on my website.
6 Steps to Manifest a Major Dream. And how did you come up with that particular title when we were talking about your customers' big problems?
I think we just talked about, manifesting. Like, how did we reverse engineering? Like, how did I enroll my husband to leave his corporate executive job in Maryland and take a big leap leave behind that big salary and move to Costa Rica? How do we manifest our dream home?
And how we came up with the title, though, was we went and
Will you
looked
show
at.
me the template?
Yeah, well, we used a template, but a template that I created, but we also looked at what is her customer's biggest pain point? What is her customer's number one problem? And what free gift can we give them in the form of a lead magnet? What free gift can we give them to help attract them to Terra? And that's how you created a lead magnet that ultimately led to 3,000 new emails and $100,000 in sales in just 45 days, right?
Yes,
6 weeks?
and amazing clients.
Awesome
amazing
clients.
that. And so then this year, I was just recently, I'm like, oh yeah, that Facebook ad thing again. Because sometimes you think you should just rinse and repeat, but you shift focus. And I was talking to Brett and hired his team to do another lead magnet. Actually, we use the same lead magnet,
Mm-hmm.
but
Because it works so well.
because it
just
works
use
so
it again.
well. Yeah, why reinvent it? And so we've run the ad for 1 week. First person who's signed up for a breakthrough session, $7,800 sale. First call, 15-minute call, first sale. I know it's not typical.
Disclaimer, results not typical.
Results not typical, just being in alignment. It's just being in alignment. It's just like, I know I'm supposed to work with you.
It was being in alignment with your customer, their needs, you attracted them and came right in.
Yeah, and so the problem really is right now is I have an overflow. I mean, I don't have the bandwidth for the phone calls.
Once again, who wants that problem, an overflow of leads, right? Wouldn't that be a fantastic problem
good
to
problem.
have?
It's a good
Gotta
problem to
hire a
have.
team to help you out with your leads? Great.
Yes. So
Awesome.
I love the Facebook ads.
Cool. So let's go back to Nicole here. So give us the overall picture of your business and going from where it was before to how it is now. How has it changed and what's the big benefit from your business now?
Yeah, well, I would say creating the lead magnet that solves a specific problem. Because for me, I had this thing of like a story of, oh, I'm a love coach and I can't promise people that they're going to make more money back. And it felt really difficult to, even on a sales call, there's so many things you could help people with in their love life. And the one-on-one consultations were getting a little murky, and I could tell I was kind of confusing people, and a confused mind doesn't buy. And so when we did the lead magnet, solving the number one problem, which for me, my women want a guy to come up to them and ask them out. That's what they would love. And we created a guide, Flirting 101, 7 ways to have the man you want come up to you and ask you out.
How cool is that, right?
In the guide, but I gave them, people read the guide all the time and they're emailing me oh my God, it works. I used your tips. And a guy came up to me and asked me out. And it's a really small, tangible, they can read the guide and actually have a real result. And then that ups their trust in me. And, ladies with their love life, sometimes they have trust issues, right? And so they trust me because I've actually helped them with a real result. And that, for me, it changed the game because it helps my one-on-one consultation so much better when they are not dealing with their trust issue of can this person really help me? I'm projecting my trust issues with men onto Nicole, right? We got rid of that through the lead magnet. And then the same thing, having leads come in all the time. We have another guide that we just created for online dating. I mean, I really have had to hire a sales team now to help me with the overflow, which is really cool because then my business gets to grow and I get more clients.
Awesome. Let's give it up for Nicole. That's fantastic. So she followed the steps. We did, and you did the customer avatar interviews? You interviewed some of
Yeah,
the
we did
customers?
it on the phone, and then you helped me with the
Perfect.
title.
Yeah, and so she interviewed her customers. So remember, marketing always begins with your customers. Specifically, what are their biggest problems that you are uniquely qualified to solve? And we take that information and we use that information to create a lead magnet. And tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., we're going to go through the same process. You're going to get to go through the same process that Nicole went through to create her lead magnet. So you definitely want to be in 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. But then she took that information, she created a lead magnet, we put it up on her Facebook page, She emailed her list. We ran some Facebook ads, and you got all those email addresses, almost 2,000 email addresses, right? It was about 1,900 and some email addresses. And in, what was it, 30 days?
30 days, 100,000, a lot of clients paying me
$100,000 in
full.
sales.
And like Tara said, like really great clients. Like I love the clients who come in through that lead magnet so much. They're great. They pay me on time or pay me in full. Like I don't have problems with them.
Who's ready for really great clients, right? Really great clients, the clients that you were truly meant to serve, the ones that you can just really do so well for, make a big difference. They'll tell everybody about you, and they will pay you well for your services. Awesome. Good. So let's go to Asara. So how has your business benefited from the program?
Wow. In so many ways, but the stability of the consistency in income, it's not only just in your bank account, it is your whole inner peace is restored.
Yeah.
It is such a hassle if we try to just sell and hope for the best, and when that steadiness comes in, all of a sudden you have a completely different energy and you attract, again, awesome clients, wonderful people to work with.
And so
yeah.
part of the steadiness is, so the model that I laid out, the high-end coaching model, where people sign a 6-month agreement and they pay you every single month for 6 months. So that means you get one customer, you don't have to replace that customer for 6 whole months. After you get used to that, after you get good at that, 6 months later, now people are going to go on a 12-month agreement. And that's what creates this steady income.
And also how it has improved was that I am now in this awesome group of people, okay, all the VIPs in front, and it turns out that we found some ways now to have joint ventures. And because we might look back in a few years and we are all at your level and above, maybe, and you're already way out, but it's you come together at ground zero and you build it up together, and you have really strong networks of support, and where you can grow your business even further when you make these connections. And then what I really also liked in your program is that we come to San Diego, like we went in February, we went to an intensive weekend, and now we were here. We got an extra day before.
You get an extra day before this event.
And then again, and so that in-person coaching, that strengthens that connection. And what I really want to say is that if you surround yourself with successful people, it just rubs up on you. It's just here.
How many people believe that? If you surround yourself with successful
Yeah.
people, it can rub off on you. Fantastic. Good. Thank you. So Sean, so tell us, how has your business benefited from the 12-month mastermind?
You know, I'm such a consummate advocate of bread. I brought 6 people to this conference. I'm just like, you know, it's pretty easy to talk about. And yet, where I'm at now, it's interesting that I was planning to do a group because I saw that my best results were clients who had been in a group with me, who also signed on as individual clients, and who were paired together as buddies and active in my Facebook discussion group. And so I was already about to create something like that, but I had a much lower price, and it was different. And this model really helped me just believe that it could be done. And the level of connection and depth that is already happening with that group in such a short time, and it's, to me, I'm about a global shift, really. So that's where I'm going, and yet to be able to see what can happen, and for that to get taken care of, so that now I'm back to working on my book. I've created 3 lead magnets. The one I talked about was the Wheel of Self-Love, which has been really popular, and I've got Radical Relationship Relief Blueprint, and the Forgiveness Flip is about to come out. So this really tangible, almost like shortcuts, happiness hacks, and that people are really starting to use that to turn around whatever's going on with them. And for me to get to serve in that way and to make, well, everybody knows I have a hard time trying to encapsulate the incredible results people get and to just say it. So to be able to come up with these lead magnets where I was forced to say it in a way that I can put out there and people can get it. That's been huge. So yeah, it feels good. I've hired 8 people now in different roles, and I've stayed with it. I went through 4 VAs till I got somebody who is really right for me and can work with me, and now it feels like it's really going to grow. And I'm about to sign on with your funnel guy out there too.
Awesome.
So
Great.
I'm just throwing caution to the wind. I know the more, my whole thing is prosperity via self-love. The more you invest in yourself, because if you don't, it tells that little part of you, the one I'm the advocate for, it tells you you're not worth it. And when you say, you know what, you are worth it, and it's all going to come together. And every time I've done that, I've gone to the next level so that I look back and that investment, fine, no problem. So you've got to take the leap, though.
And I do just want to ask you one other thing, Sean, because I know in the beginning, and I know some people can relate to this, you had some trouble with clarity with what kind of offer you would have, and what how are you going to get people to sign up into your specific programs? Can you talk for just a little bit about from where you were before to where you are now in terms of offering a very clear program with a very clear benefit?
Still struggling. I'm honest, that's my big challenge, because I am a really big picture person and I can see a lot of options at any time. But what I love, this pyramid that he put up here, what I can see now is when I'm on a consultation, I used to have lower level programs. I stopped doing individual consultations quite a while ago and put people in 4 months. It was an ongoing monthly retainer, but I always had a 4-month minimum, and then I also had a group program. And then I hopped up to this high-level mastermind, which I adore, but not everybody's ready for that. So now I'm getting a lot of clarity about going back and filling in to make sure, okay, they always say, oh yeah, I want that, I want that. So I don't have anybody hanging up and saying, I don't want what you have, but do I have the niche that fits them? So I'm going back and filling in the pyramid again now to make it so that I've got offers that are gonna, and also doing more information products so that I can be making money while I sleep. That's what the funnel piece is about. Now that I've got the lead magnets, before I didn't really have.
And I think you're better than you think you are in terms of
I'm
clarity.
a lot better, yeah.
Yeah, no, you've come a long way.
Okay.
I've been super impressed, and she's been able to very clearly articulate what her lead magnets are, fill high-end programs, and just as she said, again, this is why we do that pyramid, and we focus on that high-end part first, the high-end 6-month program first, because it's very easy to downsell from there. It's really easy. If you're talking to somebody about a $6,000 or an $8,000 program, it's really easy to downsell a $1,000 program from there. Okay, great. And Tara, so how has your business benefited?
Well, it's allowed me to live in Costa Rica and just have that virtual lifestyle. Last week when I enrolled a client, I was up in the Chiripo Mountains at a 10-day transformational retreat with my husband, and I woke up at 7 and took a call, and then went on the rest of my day, and to me, that's freedom.
Awesome, fantastic. So in our last just few minutes here, and let's start with you, Tara, what is one piece of advice you would give folks who are in our audience about building your business?
Well, when you're about to make a decision and you feel that flutter of fear and excitement in your heart, I know you'll be about to make a decision today, fear means go. Fear means go. It's actually the sign that that's where abundance is when you go through that door.
Wow.
So trust it.
Powerful. Thank you. Sean, what advice would you give our audience here about building your business?
Well, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and it comes from my own experience that this is the grad school. You could have been through a lot of spiritual development, years of counseling, and this is going to put you face to face with all that codependence you recovered from, right? All those years getting over the search for love, appreciation, and approval, and now that's what we're doing, is trying to get enough love, appreciation, and approval that they'll pay us. So there's a big challenge to stay in line with what really feels good. You're over there in everybody else's business but your own. And when you find that something hurts or throws you off, or you're paralyzed to hit send on that, whatever it is, ask yourself, what do I want from them? What need am I trying to get met in the way of love, appreciation, and approval from everybody out there? And give it to yourself first. So if you say, I want them to get me, I want them to understand and invest in my message, I want them to pay me, do that for yourself. Pay yourself, go out and get a coach. Hear your message and believe it's enough. Invest, do for yourself first. And then no matter what, there's not a bad outcome. You'll be able to grow and let it evolve you. And whatever outcome you pinned on it is not nearly as important as coming home to yourself. And that will attract the clients that are right for you.
And Asara, what advice would you give our audience today about building your business?
Find what makes your heart sing. I'm sorry. I say
That's
that
okay.
again. Find what makes your heart sing first, and then get a coach who gets it. Do you really think that I felt comfortable telling Brett that I'm dealing with angels, Senate Masters, and galactic beings of light? I was really like dancing around, and he said, so what is it that you do, Asara? I'm like, it's a spiritual business, Saying, no, what is it exactly what you do? And I'm doing this. Because I don't want to hit anyone over the head with spirituality, right? But I knew I needed a coach, and I really clicked with Brett, but I was really like worried, what if my niche he doesn't get? But guess what? The moment I spit it out, he pulled it out of me. He yanked it out. I was like, there
Gently.
it is. What do you say? And he said, right on, let's do this.
Awesome.
And he gets it. And no matter what niche, if you think, oh, nobody is going to be interested in it. Well, I don't know. After 60 days, $26,000 worth of sales
26,000.
are interested in what I have to offer.
Awesome.
And so get a coach and do what makes your heart sing, what you're passionate about.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nicole, what advice would you give our audience?
I would also say get a coach. Honestly, guys, I'm like a badass woman, and I'm really talented at what I do, and I'm strong. But then when I first tried to start my business on my own, there was all this fear. And it didn't matter how talented I was. It didn't matter how good I was, because I didn't have business structures, and I didn't know what I was doing. And even if I knew what I was supposed to do, without someone actually telling me and holding me accountable, that's just how I am. I'm not going to do it. But if I know Brett is going to ask me if I did this thing on Friday, I will get my ass in gear and I will do it. And I just know that about myself. So I will not be without a coach. The first year when I tried to do my business on my own, I made $6,900 for the whole year. Now I make like $50,000 a month consistently. I honestly, in my heart, believe that would not have happened if I didn't actually hire a coach, get help from Brett, get people who actually know what they're doing in business to teach me how to be a businesswoman. And now I get to have some flexibility. But at the beginning, you need to have someone telling you, this is exactly what you do. I was successful. If you follow this, you will be successful. And I just will do anything Brett does. I mean, I'm so happy when you come up with new offers. I'm like, sign me up. Like anything that Brett has, I'm always like, I'm the first person, because
You are, actually.
I
That's
know
true.
that
It's 100% true.
it's gonna make me money. Like I know without a doubt that if something Brett is offering, I know, because he's such a smart business person.
Thank you.
So.
All right, well, let's give it up for our panel. So stand up, absorb the love.